Hey, everybody out there, you're tuned in to 91.8 The Fan, and I have a special guest who I think you've been here so many times we should start charging you rent.
Yes. Why aren't you playing every fight, by the way? What's that about?
Because we're talking on air. Why?
Well, that's way more important. I'm sorry.
No.
Should I
I
introduce
have.
myself?
Oh, I think most people can guess who you are.
Okay.
You think they can guess who you are, or do you think you need to give them hints?
I'm Masako X of Dragon Ball Z. But no, I'm LittleKuriboh of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged and the Naruto spoof series thing, and of previous 91.8 The Fan things like Dave the Celtic Guardian and other interviews where I swore like an idiot.
I was about to say we were gonna have to kill you if you're Masako.
Oh no. How many times would that be? I have no idea. That's scary.
Well, I will say one thing that we've continued to see is that people have an obsession with every fight now, even more because of you.
I'm very glad, and I hope that it plagues you guys for the rest of the 91.8 The Fan existence. I hope that becomes your marching theme of sorts.
I have to ask, do you actually like that song?
No.
Okay. I just wanted to know. I just wanted to make sure.
I have no idea what's happening in that song. I know that there's a girl screaming and every fight. I don't know what that's about.
I
It's
don't
it's
either. I try
it's
not
like
to.
it's the anti-Gangnam Style. You want to stop dancing when it comes on.
Pretty much. That's why we never play it at conventions unless you request it. But
That's
you
right.
know what? You didn't wreck any dance parties at Youmacon because you didn't come up to the booth and request it there.
I apologize. Where was your booth at Youmacon, by the way?
We were in front of the main events,
That's
right?
right. I remember you telling me at the closing ceremonies. I only found out at closing ceremonies.
Well,
Uh,
we barely saw you. Like that was my first Youmacon, so I was running around like a chicken without a
yeah,
head.
yeah.
And like I saw everybody in the green room, but I think I almost never saw you in the green room ever.
I had no chance to go to the green room except on the first day, unfortunately. So I kind of missed out on that. But I was very, very busy in the Kobo Hall, which was a new thing for Youmacon last year, and I assume they're still going to have it next year, this year as well. But hopefully, I'll be able to actually come see you guys and request that song and torture you.
Well, I figured that everybody just gets sloshed at Youmacon, and I
Oh,
was right. So,
they did.
yes,
I don't remember if I had anything to drink. I don't think I drank anything that year. Actually, no. The last day I did drink a little bit and played Mario Party.
that's the best time to drink.
It is. It is.
Well, it was funny. We had one of our DJs with us. His name is Bobby Henshin, and he was talking to I believe Doug Walker, and they got into a conversation about birthdays or something. And by the end of the night, since Bobby's birthday had been like a few weeks beforehand,
Yep.
he had a lot of shots. That well, on the plus side, I when he fell asleep on the ground in the hotel room, I got to kick him in the head, so
Oh,
it's all good.
that
Everything's
was
okay.
my the night before my wedding. I was sleeping on the ground in a room with Team Four Star. So fortunately, nobody kicked me in the head though.
That is always a good thing. In case you need a helmet, though, for next time, you should get one.
Yeah.
Just.
Okay.
But one of the projects that we never got to talk about on the show with you, and I know that the project is completely funded, but it was the official Otakon Super Beat 'em Up video game.
Yes, it is. Yes, Crisis Heart Brawlers, a Clash at Otakon.
And now, can you explain your role on the game?
I can. I was brought onto the project as a writer, which means not that I'm going to be writing the whole game. The storyline is already kind of in place, but I will be sprucing up a lot of the dialogue for the characters when they're doing things like attacking people. Every time you hear somebody say a really, really bad one-liner, that's going to be my fault. I'm going to be taking a look at the storyline and seeing the structure, and I'm going to be offering advice. It's a big team effort, so I'm not like the only writer involved, but I'm definitely heavily involved in the creative side of things, and I'm I'm on hand as just a team member, so I can give feedback for anything. It's not going to be like the LittleKuriboh video game. It's definitely Studio Nasu's project, but I'm very glad to be an intrinsic part of the system that's in place, and it looks great so far. Everyone's doing a great job animating it. The voice acting is fantastic. We've got some really talented people involved. We've got Todd Habercorn, we've got Christina V, Kylie Bear. I don't know who else I can talk about because I don't know what's been announced so far. But yeah, it's going to be a beat 'em up in the style of classic side scrollers like what do you call them? I mean, obviously Scott Pilgrim isn't a classic one, but it's in the vein of classic side scroller, but like Double Dragon, things like that, and it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be all based around Otakon, which is obviously one of the biggest conventions in the West, and people who like Otakon are going to see a lot of the trappings of Otakon within the game.
Now, this seems like kind of a weird project when you first hear about it, when you don't get to see anything. So, when you heard about it or when they asked you about it, were you like, wait, they're doing a video game for a convention?
I was more shocked that they wanted me to have any kind of creative input on the project than I was about the video game. But yeah, it's kind of cool, and it's something that's never really been done before. It's an official convention video game, and obviously, I like conventions. I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm a big fan of going out and meeting the fans and everything. So, and I'm sure fans are, they love conventions as well and attending them, and I honestly, when I go to them, I wish they could never end. So in a way, this is a way of taking the convention experience home, only you're punching things instead of like standing in line for hours on end.
Well, on the plus side, at least security isn't going to ban you from the convention or kick you out.
See, I suggested that, but they said that wasn't a good idea.
Oh, okay. maybe maybe it was a mistake to put you on the creative team. But no, this is kind of a unique project for you. So are you just excited to be able to do something essentially different from what you normally get to do?
Yeah, it's definitely different, and it's very cool to be a part of the machine because when I'm doing what, Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged and everything, I'm kind of like the only person working on it most of the time, aside from a few voice actors. I write, edit, direct, and I do everything that is basically the creative process. And now I'm like I'm sort of a small part of that. And so getting one task to do and trying to focus on it and make it the best it can be is it's rewarding because you get to see all these other talented people working on it and feel like you're a part of this amazing team. It's like being at the Super Bowl or something. It's and not that I would say that working on a project like this means that I'm like I'm compared to the Super Bowl, but it feels that way to somebody who's only ever really worked on like fan projects and stuff. It's pretty incredible.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you're a part of it, and it looks like a lot of really awesome people are a part of it. I know one of the voice actors that wasn't mentioned was Johnny Young Bosch. He's
That's
also
right. Yes.
yes, and I Shine's doing music for it, and DJ Cutman, and a few other things like that. I think you can check it out all on the Kickstarter page, which is still up, even though you can't really back the Kickstarter anymore because it's
Right.
over. I don't know if there's a better place though to check out the game on the internet.
I mean, let me see if there's a website really quick.
I know
Uh,
the studio has a website.
yeah, Studio Nasu. Yeah, that's the one I was going to look for you, but you probably have that already.
.com.
Yes. There
Just
you
their
go.
name. .com. Yeah. Do you know if there's any release date for it, or will they be premiering it at the convention, or is it a little bit too early to say?
The only information I have, and somebody just tweeted at me saying, "You forgot Johnny Young Bosch is in Crisis Heart Brawlers." Yes, I did forget. I'm sorry, John. But the only information I have regarding releases, we're going to be showing it at Otakon. That's the only information I've been given.
Well,
We're going
very
to.
exciting.
It's going to be playable, and that's all I know.
Well, you'll be there to also interact with the fans. I'm assuming at Otakon.
I will, and don't take the game literally and start punching me.
No, that would be bad.
That would
I
be bad.
I can think of many moments where I've taken money from people to punch my staff members, but don't do that to LittleKuriboh. That would be bad.
That's what I missed out on at Youmacon.
That is actually.
What? How much of a bonus did you were you earning a trophy when you kicked Henshin, Bobby Henshin on the floor? Was that a trophy you were going for?
I think his big problem is he practically passed out on the dance floor because we
Oh,
we had like a crowd of, I guess like 400, 500 people just in that like space, which was ridiculous. At
mhm.
one point we needed to call security because people kept closing in on each other
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and people were doing flips and I didn't want anyone to get kicked in
Oh,
the face.
oh no.
So eventually, though, Bobby's trying to keep up, getting the energy going, and dancing. And Bobby's a bigger guy, and no offense to him, but I think he needed to take a break.
Oh, oh dear.
But that's okay. That's what I was there for, and I had two other henchmen as well, so they could dance in his place.
Two of the henchmen or two of the henshin?
Henchmen.
Okay, because I was gonna get confused. You have clones now? I don't.
I know I couldn't handle more than one Bobby henchman. Oh, oh dear God. Oh no, it's my worst nightmare.
Henchman.
You know I've been playing Silent Hill Downpour, so you're just trying to creep me out even more.
I'm imagine playing every fight while playing Silent Hill Downpour. That would be an experience.
No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't.
Which is your favorite Silent Hill game?
Silent Hill 2.
Oh, definitely, yeah, of course. Why
Um,
did I even ask?
yeah. Well, it's actually kind of funny. I'm in this huge Silent Hill kick right now, and not to go off in a tangent, but
By all means.
my cousin and me have always played the Silent Hill games together.
They're a great experience as a group, I think. They're really fun.
But it's kind of funny because her favorite is Silent Hill 3 because that's the first she completed on her own, and
Oh,
mine is Silent Hill 2 because that's the first one I completed on my own. So we get into debates all the time about which one is better.
right. What did she think of the new movie?
I don't think she watched the new movie.
Well, good for her.
I haven't either because I've heard that they turned Vincent into a whiny high school dreamboat.
He's pretty whiny, and yeah, he's briefly in high school, and the dreamboat aspect is there. So yeah, he qualifies. It's pretty bad.
I didn't mind the first movie either, which is
No, the first movie is decent. The first half is a great movie. If you the second half, but the first half is if it kept going at that pace, it would have been a great movie.
like I feel like a pretty forgiving Silent Hill fan because I could deal with Homecoming. It's okay. I'm not gonna praise it.
Yeah,
Put it on a pedestal. I think Shattered Memories is okay. It just had bad ideas with the chase sequence. But
you
I
didn't
hate
like
you,
that
Origins.
Origins. I never played Origins. You didn't like it?
I shake my fist at Origins
Oh,
angrily.
I actually like Shattered Memories. It's cute.
I
It's
I like it, but I think the chase sequences get too repetitive, and I struggled a lot once I got to the school area, and you have to take the photos of the
oh yeah
different
yeah yeah.
places
That part's difficult.
while you're being chased, and I
Yeah.
I never got past it, so
Oh,
I never beat it.
you should give it another chance. It's pretty good.
I need to go buy it or rent it via Game Mine or something like that, but one day. Right now, though, gotta finish Silent Hill Downpour. Gotta collect all those stupid notes. I would have had the trophy for that. Once again, still going on a tangent. Would have had the trophy for that, but it glitched inside the vault in the Centennial building.
Oh, that happened to me as well.
Seriously? I
Yeah,
couldn't pick up anything.
that thing glitched like crazy for me. It was like I had to keep leaving the building and going back in, and everything went wrong that could have gone wrong. That vault is cursed, man.
Well, now I know because we did a hard mode, hard
Yeah,
difficulty,
yeah.
hard puzzle to get through that, and we decided not to kill anything. And that building is so much easier if you don't explore. You go to the vault, you can use the same code, you can go up to the elevator, you got to run past some dolls, scoot the wheelchair out of the way, you get the ID card from the vault, you get into the elevator, go to floor 18, you're done.
Holy crap.
It's maybe 15 minutes. We went through the game in I think 3 hours and 31 minutes.
That's insane.
It,
I don't know what to say.
it was pretty surprising. I didn't think it was that linear, but I did all the side quests initially, you
That's
know,
insane. That's insane.
and that took like 9, 10 hours. I don't know if you got to play any of the side quests at all.
I played a handful of them. I went out of my way to try out some of them. They're pretty creative. I kind of like them.
Did you have a favorite?
I like the one, and mostly just for the visual aspect of it. The way when you're like winding the record player and it shows the murder of the woman, and then you
Yes.
have yeah, that's pretty cool.
That is my favorite as well. I was talking about that earlier on my show because it was the creepiest one
Yeah,
since he crawls out of the painting and
that is
attacks
creepy.
you and you can't
Reminds
kill him.
it reminds me of Silent Hill 4 that there
Oh
was a
yeah, that's
ghost.
true.
Yeah,
I remember very little about Silent Hill 4.
I think a lot of people remember very little about Silent Hill 4.
I remember the girl offering you sexual favors in the beginning.
Yes, she was a great character.
Definitely. But now, for the fans out there, I think we're going to take a very short break. So, for people who want to go pick up Silent Hill now, since apparently both me and LittleKuriboh are in Silent Hill kicks,
Oh
feel
yeah.
free because you have the time to do so and keep it tuned to 91.8 The Fan. Our special guest will still be right here. I promise I won't chase him away, even though he looks like he's decaying in his avatar.
Oh,
For those of you who don't know, he's a zombie.
I am a zombie. It
Yes.
was a fantastic experience.
Would you like to say anything about it before we go to break then?
Oh, sure. We went down to a convention in New Zealand called Armageddon Expo, and they were doing 100. Was it 100? It was either 100 or 1,000 movie quality zombies in a day. This makeup team were doing, and they just had us line up in a big line in the back of the dealers hall. and we stood in line for about, it was 10 minutes work, and it was just so many, like it was like 12 different makeup artists that we just walked up to one at a time, and they applied different aspects of it. And the first one that came to me and said, "Do you mind if I give you like a comb over?" And I was like, "Go ahead. It's going to happen one day anyway." So she did that, and she made brains come out of my comb over, and everyone was very impressed, and I was very impressed. And then the first thing that happens after I walk out is I go up to Charles Martinet, the voice of Mario, and he's so blown away that he has to get a picture with me, and I'm like, holy crap, this is Mario asking for my picture. This is crazy.
Oh, that's cool. He's such a nice dude.
He is, yeah.
Anyway, for the people out there, we're going to a break. Got some songs and some other things. So keep it tuned to 91.8 The Fan, where we play everything you want and nothing you don't. Hey, everybody out there, you're still tuned to 91.8 The Fan because if you weren't, you wouldn't be hearing any music or me or my special guest.
Hi.
You're still here. Oh my
I am.
God.
I didn't abandon you guys.
I feel so warm and fuzzly inside. Fuzzly. That's my new.
Fuzzly.
Yes.
Sounds like a Pokemon.
Oh man, I can't keep track of Pokemons nowadays. Back in my day, there were 151. I don't know nowadays. Nowadays, there's like 700 or 800. I don't even know.
Slowly becoming Billy Bob Thornton.
Would you like to tell the masses who you are, just in case they forgot?
Oh, yes, I am LittleKuriboh, also known as Martin Billany in real life. I created Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged and the Naruto spoof series thing, and I am also a character in Kirby Flash series tome, Nylok, and I'm also working on Crisis Heart Brawlers and various other projects, and I will be appearing at a lot of conventions this year.
You know, actually, since the last time we talked, it seems like your character in Tome has gotten more and more popular.
Yeah?
Well, just because it seems like that's the character that seems to get all the merchandise. I believe he had his own shirt
Yes,
at
he still has his own shirt, yeah. Available at levelupstudios.com.
Yes. Now you know where to buy it.
But yeah, I'm surprised because like Nylok's a very polarizing character. I thought he still did, but he used to get lots of people saying just kill off Nylok. He's the worst part of the show. But
Aw.
he was voted as the most popular character by the official poll on the Tome Facebook page. So I guess we're doing something right, and hopefully people will like the new episode, which is coming out next month, which is all Nylok based. It's going to be all me.
You must be very happy about that.
I am, although I had to sing a song, and I'm not a very good singer, so I hope people don't get turned off by that or anything.
So you had to sing a song in that like old English-ish accent he has.
It's not too far off from my regular accent, but it's still it's difficult to belt out a tune like that, the one that Curb wrote with a voice like that and with a voice like mine.
And his character's so energetic too.
It's true, and I love that, and that's great. But singing, I'm terrible.
I understand that feel, bro. I understand that feel. Yeah, the only way you can practice is go to karaoke bars.
I'm just glad that I'm not as bad as Russell Crowe in Les Miserables.
Oh, that's great.
I did actually record an alternate version of the song as Russell Crowe, but I don't know if he'll release that version.
Dang.
Maybe you guys can get it.
Maybe one day.
You can play it instead of every fight.
That would be great. I would welcome that with open arms. At least somebody could be like, is this little Karibo singing this really horribly? That would be better than, why is this Japanese woman screaming in a shrill voice?
Does anybody know why she is screaming?
The character from that, it's a character song from
Right.
Bleach, and it's like this little teeny girl, and I guess it's a very energetic girl. I don't know her name because I don't watch Bleach, but I guess that's her Japanese voice.
She's the green-haired girl, right?
Yes.
Right. And she's just nobody knows what she's screaming about though.
No.
Oh, okay. We'll find out one day.
One day. Maybe we can keep the mystery. Maybe that's what makes every fight so scary.
Maybe when we learn what it is, we will won't be as terrified of it.
Maybe. Anyway, for the listeners out there, are there any projects that you're working on that you want to pimp out to the fans?
Yes, I actually just got cast in a video game, which I'm very excited about.
Ah, congratulations.
Oh, thank you. It's a video game that has technically already been released. Chapter one of it has come out, and it's been on the iOS store for a while, and it's been on PC and Steam for even longer. It's called The Journey Down, and it's in the style of old LucasArts point and click adventure games. And I played chapter one. And I was a huge fan, and I pimped it out on my Twitter and on my Facebook, and I've been supporting it for since it came out. It's a lot of fun to play, and the acting is great, and the puzzles are fun, and it just brought me back to when I was like a 12-year-old kid playing Monkey Island and Grim Fandango and all those games. So I really enjoyed it, and I got in touch with the people making it, and they heard my demo, and they liked it, and they cast me in chapter two. So if you are interested in hearing my voice in a video game, you should totally check out chapter one because it has some very talented people, including Antfish from Team Four Star. He's involved. He's the main character, and it's definitely worth a buy if you ask me.
Well, I love those type of games. Like I was one of the first people who jumped on like the Double Fine Kickstarter.
Oh hell yeah!
I've been watching that documentary religiously.
How is that going? Does it look good?
The game looks really amazing, and just seeing how everything works is just really interesting to me. Because for someone who's like a fan of Tim Schafer and Ron Gilbert and everything else, getting to know the other side of the team and not just them is kind of almost like being there in the studio as they work.
Hmm.
So it's a really nice experience. So if you do plan on supporting that game, I would recommend Slack backing, I think is what it's called, because you can still back the project
I didn't know
technically.
that. I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
you can be a Slacker backer and you can get access to the documentary.
Oh, cool. I
Yes.
might do that.
But no, I'm very excited to hear that you're going to be a part of a video game, and I will definitely have to check that out because I knew nothing of it.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I didn't, so thank you for educating me.
Oh, you need to play that. It's really good.
It sounds really cool because, as I said, I really like those type of adventure games. Is there anything you can tell me, like about the maybe the atmosphere of the environment? Because that seems really important to adventure games.
It's sort of got a lot of people compare it to Grim Fandango, but it's more because that's more sort of got a Mexican like Day of the Dead kind of feel, whereas this game is more of a Caribbean sort of Jamaican style atmosphere. The music's very in that vein, and the cast is mostly made up of African Americans and stuff. So it's got a very unique feel to the game. It's a really well structured and fun game. I can't stress enough that it's very fun because a lot of these indie games, they're kind of like trying to harken back to games like of old, don't really quite capture the fun of it. They capture the feel, but not the fun. But this is really a fun game. I was laughing my head off while playing it.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of adventure games just have really well written dialogue.
Exactly, and this is no exception.
Like for example, I'm right now in the middle of playing Gabriel Knights, the very first one.
Oh my God, you are so lucky to be playing that for the first time. Gabriel Knight is a great series.
Okay, well that sold me because I'm not very far in the game. I just met Grandma. Uh, but I love the fact that the dialogue for Tim Curry's character is so hilarious when it comes to
Oh,
trying to get in other girls' pants.
that is such a great series. Are you going to play two and three as well?
Yes, eventually, but I gotta.
Oh,
Me and another staff member are let's playing the game, so
oh, really?
we're going through it slowly but surely.
Fantastic. That is, I envy you so much. I wish I could play those again for the first time because they're some of my favorite games. Brilliant.
Okay, now I'm really excited. Now I gotta play more.
And isn't Tim Curry so funny in that game as well?
I was really surprised to hear that accent on him
Yeah,
because he
yeah.
has like this southern drawl to it, and I've never heard that. And at first, it really weirded me out, but once I got used to it, I eventually connected with the character a little bit more, I think.
I know you've got Michael Dorn in there as well. I'm trying to think of who else is in it. Oh, I forget. But oh, the and the later games are great as well. Two is really well written, and three is probably the weakest of the series, but it's fantastic still because it's Gabriel Knight, and just because it's the weakest doesn't mean it's bad. And you have John Delancey as one of the villains, so it's always a plus.
Well, it's ironic. The reason that we started playing it is because I believe the people who did Phantasmagoria, or the studio that worked on it, also did the Gabriel Knight games.
Oh, it's possible. I don't know enough about Phantasmagoria.
But I played that, and that's kind of a horrific, gory, older game.
Yeah,
Eh,
but Gabriel Knight's much more of I think it's a more of a thinking game than a shocking game.
It is. I agree with you. I just I thought that the writing in the first Phantasmagoria, just to clarify, was very good. So I wanted to see what other games. I think it's Sierra Online.
That's right, Sierra. Yeah, they did it.
I wanted to see what other games they had done, just to to educate myself.
Gabriel Knight was some of the best games ever made, and I say that to the listeners as well as to you that if you want to play a good point and click game, Gabriel Knight is probably the top of the ladder for me.
Well, very cool. Now I know that I have to spend time after this interview doing that. Thank you for giving me a reason to play video games. Like I didn't need any more.
Right, you can't collect any trophies in these games, unfortunately.
Dang it. Yeah, it's PC. PC hasn't gotten there yet. Maybe Steam, but that's about it.
Somebody needs to make a retroactive trophy system for old games.
That would be wonderful. I have trouble with retroactive trophies. For example, Metal Gear Solid 4. I've technically gotten all the trophies in that before there were trophies.
But you
But
had to do it again?
I technically by the time I get to do it again, I will have played that game I think 16 times,
Oh my God.
which is fine. I love Metal Gear,
I love
so
Metal Gear, yeah, yeah, but that's a lot of times to play one game.
I know. But I loved it so much the first time I did it on my own. But now there's trophies, so now I get to do it again. Kojima, I love you. You're my god. Anyway. So, for the listeners out there, something we talked about behind the scenes. I know this isn't a project that you're a part of, but I figured you'd want to pimp it out.
Absolutely.
Is the Crayamore Kickstarter?
I believe it's actually pronounced Cryamore, but I could be wrong.
Crayamore.
But yeah, there's a game currently on the Kickstarter, as we say, called Cryamore, and it's in the same vein as games as like The Legend of Zelda and Secret of Mana. For those of you who need a reference to amazing games, it's going to be on. I actually don't know what system it's going to be on. I assume the PC. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be the PC, and it looks fantastic. It certainly, the visuals certainly speak well for it. I don't know exactly what the gameplay will be like, but it's basically steampunk Zelda, Secret of Mana, Mega Man kind of mix. And if those things appeal to you, then you should definitely go check out the video promoting it on the Kickstarter page because there's some fantastic voice work in there, and there's some great art and video footage. And if you like good video games, you'll want to donate to this because it's already beaten the goal of giving it half the stuff that it needs. We just need to get to another $50,000 and it will have everything and you'll be able to play it on your iPhone and everything. So yeah, I highly recommend checking it out. And my lovely wife is one of the characters in it. So
The art is amazing. I just have to say that. Like,
yeah,
if
it's
you just
very
go to
talented.
the Kickstarter and you can see the art, it looks freaking amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Beautiful. But yeah, I'm very impressed with the fact that they've made so much in such a short amount of time. So, but keep donating to that sort of thing. That way they can get to their stretch goals, which is very important for video games.
Indeed.
Now, is there anything else you want to pimp out to the listeners out there? Any place where they can stalk you in real life? Maybe conventions you're going to?
I would love to pimp out all kinds of things. If you guys want to follow me, you can go to Yu-Gi-Oh! TAS on Twitter. That's the name Yu-Gi-Oh! And then TAS, the abridged series. Uh, and if you can also follow the official Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged Facebook, which is just official Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged Facebook. I think that's what it's called, surprisingly. There's also a lot of conventions that I believe one of which you guys are going to be at. Not you specifically, but people representing 91.8 The Fan.
Comic-Con, right?
That's right. That's right.
Yes. Siege will be there. For those of you curious, we'll have a booth set up like normal. I don't know what panels we're doing because they haven't told us.
Oh,
Yes, so I don't know.
I don't know what panels I'm doing, come to think of it. But yeah, I'll be at Comic Con from the 15th, is it?
I think 15th to 17th.
15th to the 17th of February. I'm also going to AlmaCon in Alma, Michigan, uh, from the 8th to the 10th of this month coming, February. And that'll be a fantastic time. There's lots of voice actors and me and Curb, and we'll be showing off some tome stuff there. I'm also going to be at MomoCon in March, which is in. Let me get my list of conventions up because that'll help me out a great deal.
I know what you mean when people ask me, like, what conventions is 91.8 The Fan going to? I'm like, I got a calendar. Give me a sec.
Okay, let me see. Here we go. We have MomoCon in Atlanta, Georgia. We have that's from the 7th to the 10th of March. We have KitsuneCon, where I'm going to be going with a bunch of members of Team Four Star in Appleton. I don't know what WI stands for. Wisconsin?
I don't know.
Uh,
I, I don't know.
It
I'm
is
gonna assume.
Wisconsin.
There we go.
Thank you,
Thank you,
producer.
Christmas. Thank you so much.
Christmas spirit flew in, even though it's
Hey.
January.
Well, it's Wisconsin, so it snows there all the time, so it's appropriate. KitsuneCon, that's the Appleton one from the 22nd to the 24th. SakuraCon in Seattle, Washington, I'll be there from the 29th to the 31st. Anime Zing in Davenport, Iowa from the 3rd to the 5th of May. I'll be at Fanime in San Jose, California from the 23rd to the 26th of May. And I'll the last one I'll tell you guys about, even though there's a lot more coming, is ACON, which is Dallas, Texas, which is probably the biggest convention I've been a guest at. Actually, I lied. I think the New Zealand one was probably bigger, but ACON, Dallas, Texas, from the 31st to the 1st of June, which I'll be there with Team Four Star as well, I believe.
And I'm sure there's all those conventions that are in the future that you can't talk about because they're not confirmed yet. Or...
Indeed, I haven't been given the go ahead to announce a lot of them.
Yeah, I know that feel.
I also don't want to take up the rest of the hour by talking about conventions.
Well, conventions are, to me, one of the funnest parts of, interacting with the community and being able to do this job because I love to travel. Even if I get con sickness or whatever, I just love it anyway.
Right. Yeah, it can be stressful, but everything, all the benefits are worth it. Like getting to meet the fans is one of the highlights of my year every time it happens, and I get to hang out with friends that I've only been able to talk to online, and it's the people, the people make the convention, and 9 times out of 10, the people are always wonderful.
It's interacting with like-minded people too because, you'll talk to people on the internet, but it's just not the same as making that physical connection, not in a sexual way.
Hmm.
Just clarifying.
Right.
And getting drunk together is always fun too.
So by the physical connection, you mean like kicking people in the head when they're lying drunk on the floor?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. Well, like for instance, when I was at Youmacon, they had the Wreck-It Ralph world premiere, and the whole room, because everyone was anime and video game fans,
Hmm.
it made the whole experience seem just better in general. People cheering for Kyle Bear when they saw him in the credits and things like that. It just heightened the experience.
Indeed, yes, that was great when people cheered for Kyle at the end when they had Kyle when they had I call him Kyle when they had Ryu beating up the car with Ralph. That was fantastic.
But now, for any of the listeners who want to, ask you any more questions or anything like that, are they fine to tweet you and Tumblr you and Facebook you and so on and so forth?
Yeah, if they want to.
Okay, then you'll probably get a few people yelling at you about every fight after this.
Sure.
Yeah, it's not my fault. Now, is there anything else you'd like to tell the listeners, such as words of wisdom, dating advice, anything like that?
Oh gosh, you always ask about the dating advice, and I don't know what to say. I mean, I meet somebody online and then
And
wait
then
to
have
hear,
babies, and then
then
you're
have
done.
babies, and then you're done. Absolutely. Words of wisdom. Don't give up, no matter how bad things seem, because tomorrow is another day, and you may find that your life turns around on the turn of a dime, because it did for me. So it can happen to anybody. So don't give up.
I like that very much. And thank you. It's nice to talk to you again. It's always a
Absolutely,
pleasure.
absolutely. It's nice to talk to both of you.
And for all the listeners out there that missed any of this interview, don't fret. You can find it on the website within the next few days. So keep your eyes peeled to 918thefan.com and your ears tuned to 91.8 The Fan, where we play everything you want and nothing you don't.